Test, test.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and grab your nearest Go ahead and grab your nearest dipstick. It's time for another hour with the Oil Check Club. Curtis and Spencer checking back in. It's been a long season so far. Spencer, what are we thinking?
Guys, we need a name for our podcast. Curtis is trying to hard launch the Oil Check Club, so that's what we're
I'm
going with
telling
for
you,
right now.
I think the Oil Check Club's where it's gonna be.
So guys, we have a little itinerary we're gonna go over. We're gonna do the same kind of thing we did last week, where we just went over the previous week and everything. So this is what we got currently for on the docket today. So we're gonna go thoughts on the regular season, all tiers, individuals, teams, blue belt Dom getting his blue belt. Then we're gonna talk about the female division with the cash payout over there, and then we're gonna do the what else we got? The Z-Lock controversy that we had, and then we're gonna talk about the fall super fight night or the fall super fright night.
Fright night.
Oh, and then the winter season that we're gonna do. Side projects related to the Atlanta Submission Series and YouTube future projects if we get there. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So thoughts
Yeah.
on the regular season? What were you thinking on it?
So first thought about the regular season, and I think a lot of people might kind of agree with this, is that it's long, man. Like I didn't think that 3 weeks was gonna feel this long, but it's definitely felt like a whole season, you know? And
Yeah,
I
it has
think
been a little long.
I think maybe for future events, like maybe a 1 weekend regular season where we jump right into the finals the following weekend. Like it's been cool. And it's been like it's an interesting layer, element to kind of layer into the competition. What teams are going to be able to weather like weeks and weeks of doing this stuff because a lot of guys like they're still in the training room every night. They're still competing in other stuff like so I think making it a little less of a grind, like it's going to make it easier on teams in the long run because they're not going to have to worry about like injuries taking a toll quite as much. We've seen obviously a lot of alternates starting to swap in.
Yeah, lots of alternates are starting to come in here. We've definitely noticed that.
Yeah, which I mean is good. That's a good thing. Like we
For
encourage
sure.
teams to.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking probably going forward we would switch to probably the team dynamic where instead of just individuals signing up through league apps, we'll just get a whole team to sign up instead. So then they
Yeah,
can just bring people each week to the event, and then that way it'll be a lot easier to for the schools and for us to facilitate.
yeah. To add a little extra context for what Spencer is talking about here, we're kind of floating the idea out for next season, potentially just having like one representative, like a captain, pay say like a $400 fee for the entire team, and then they just show up with three other people who, fit the category that they're in, whether it be experience level or weight class. And they sign their waivers, they go compete, and then it's just kind of like a placeholder for this captain and three teammates
It'll be a
every
lot
week.
easier because I mean injuries weren't prevalent, but people like other things pop up as well, and there were injuries. So we just want to make sure we're getting across everything.
Yeah, just a little less specificity in the registration process might make things easier. But we'll be kind of workshopping some of those details as we venture farther into the off season. Um, in terms of like getting back to the regular season though, I know we kind of jumped off on a little bit of a negative because that's the first thing that really like stands out to a lot of people is like, man, this feels like it's been going on for a while,
Yeah, it was 3 weeks
which is
with
awesome.
a
But
break, so a whole month.
well, but the positive side though is it also feels that way just because like the sheer amount of action. Like even if the event's only like 3.5, 4 hours long, it's so electric and like the energy level's so high
Oh,
and
dude, everyone was so pumped, especially on
yeah,
Sunday. There was easily over 100 people there watching the girls get that check. That was crazy.
yeah, like you just feel almost like emotionally drained, just being so invested in all of it.
Yeah, I mean, there were long days, especially that Sunday one that was a little bit longer, but it was so much fun the entire time. Like, all the action going on the entire time was crazy.
Yeah, and like it's just the content's been gold too, and like
Yeah,
it's
like Steven Dana's clip just hit like 40,000 views on our Instagram.
yeah,
It's
we've got like
absolutely nuts.
Polish MMA gyms resharing. Like
Yeah,
that's
dude, that
the
was like a gym from Poland reposted Dana's thing on their story.
yeah.
Like, that's wild. Now we're not just in Georgia, not just the southeast, but we've actually hit a gym
Oh
all the
yeah,
way
we've gone
over. That's
international.
crazy how fast like
Man,
this is truly spreading.
we
Like
got to
people
see
are
if we can get a
pumped about it.
Polish team in.
Dude, that'd be wild.
You know how hard that would
That
be
would be the hardest thing possible. But
to
now that's
pay.
all I want to do. We're reaching out to them as soon as this is
We'd have to
over.
cover like 5 international flights to make that. You know what? We'll see. Those of you out there, deep pockets, jujitsu nerds who want to be our Zuck, send us a DM.
Let's talk about getting some Polish.
Let's talk
people
about how
over
many
here.
Polish ringers we can fly in before the next season. No, but like it's been really action packed, and I think the cool thing is,
And Grim has joined the podcast.
oh, it's not a party till Grim hops in. Is there's actually been like the first weekend, people were a little apprehensive. It seemed like maybe there wasn't gonna be as much, like the divisions wouldn't be as competitive as people were originally hoping, but after weekend 2, it seemed like there's been a lot more parity. Like a lot of people have stepped up. A
Yeah,
lot
a
of
lot
teams.
of the matches were really close.
Yeah, like I think I mean, obviously the biggest shout out is Superfly's
Yeah, dude.
advanced over team.
Daniel said that they were gonna work for like this match and like all their matches, like put a really good show, and they definitely saw. I definitely saw that at least in that 1 week. So I can't wait to see what they do with this 2 week.
Oh
break
yeah,
and come
with
back.
2 weeks to adjust. I mean, it's gonna be insane. Oh, obviously, 10th Planet's gonna have Kevin Burek back, which
Yeah, he was at Midwest Finisher.
yeah, which that's gonna be that definitely changes the paradigm a little bit. That's gonna be a little bit of a different dynamic.
Dude, I think Max can put on a really good show against him. I think he can do.
But yeah, no, I mean, like even like grappling against Luke or grappling against Steven, like I know Kevin's very, very high level, but I mean they're sleepers and they're both pro caliber level guy. Like that
yeah,
can
Max
be
hit that Imanari roll to the 411 heel hook and got that extra $100 for that hidden move. That was pretty cool.
yeah. So I mean, like the fact that they're holding their own against like guys at Luke and Steven's level, I think they can challenge Kevin. Especially if they really study some tape or like go out there with a specific strategy around him in mind. They've been really creative and they've generated a lot of opportunities out of nowhere. I'm so impressed with the Superfly guys, but I'm also really impressed with how versatile Daniel and Jake are as coaches. Like to have them be able to say like, okay, this is who we're up against. The deck is like it's stacked pretty heavy. Like this is a tough team. This is a tall
It's a very
order.
hard team to beat.
To be able to get back in the lab and come up with a formula and your guys stick to it and it almost wins them the entire match.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they only won by 1.
No, it was down to the wire. It was Luke that barely pulled out the win for the Breast Milk Barbarians.
Yeah.
But man, I mean that was a real nail biter. And like, it's not a foregone conclusion in any division who's going to win at this point. There's obviously clear favorites.
Which has been your favorite tier division to watch so far?
It's honestly for me, I think it's maybe been the intermediate over.
Really? Oh, dude, mine's been the advanced under.
Oh,
Dude, I don't know
my
why.
division.
Your division's been so much fun to watch.
Well, my division. So a lot of the little guys have been scrappier than you think they'd be. I really anticipated a lot of like technical jujitsu, and maybe not quite as smash mouth and gritty as it's been. But I mean, there's been a lot of scrapping, and there's been a lot of fight in the under divisions.
It's been crazy. It's like all the match, like your team's in last place right now, so you guys have first against Odyssey, which is a tall order, but I think you guys can definitely beat them.
Well, we've been playing with some different things, and not to take anything away from Odyssey, they've been incredible, and I mean, I think they're perfectly capable of beating us at our best at any given week. But like, there is the fact that a lot of us like hadn't really been preparing for this specifically.
Yeah, David was on a 2-week cruise or something.
Yeah,
Dante's working double shifts constantly.
Yeah, like I've been doing this. Like Nadim had no idea he was going to be on our team at that point.
Yeah.
So like Ron had no idea he was going to be on our
Ron jumped
team.
in there last second.
So I mean, we've
No,
all
it's for sure. It's Ron, Nadim, and who are the other two? It's Ron, Nadim, and then Jamar and Dante, right?
Yeah, probably so. David's out.
Yeah, David's still out with his knee.
And we're gonna go with our four best, and like obviously with all the submission series stuff, like I have the least amount of time.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it's been so hard to run this, train, do real work all at the same time. So
Yeah,
I
so
completely
I'm not
understand
gonna
that.
let my ego get in the way.
Yeah.
If Saturday rolls around and I don't think I'm one of the four best for the job, I'm not gonna step onto the mat unless there's an injury.
I mean, yeah, the money's on the line. We have the alternates as a reason for this. Like we said, like other things pop up, work, real life. So I mean, this is a perfect example of like, and it's for the money. So like, you're gonna want to like send your best people out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very physical.
I wonder who Odyssey's gonna send out for their four.
I mean, you gotta imagine
It's gonna
Campbell.
be Campbell, Eldon for sure.
Yeah, Eldon's definitely gonna be on the team. I would imagine
Because
Brady's gonna be out
Eldon
there.
was out, and so they had two different people that were there last week. So I wonder.
Yeah,
what they're gonna do
I mean,
this week.
either way, they're gonna be stacked. It's gonna be very, very technical, very high level, new meta, and it's just is Dante or is Ron gonna be able to just smash their way through?
Yeah.
That's the real question. And there's a couple of teams where that's really the question. Like you've got the heel hookers only. They're a much more technical, kind of smaller team. But then you have the Misfits, and again, they're just a bunch of guys who, just Hulk smash.
True.
Chris Schwarting, for example, who, by the way, Chris, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. I've been calling you Chris Schwartzman.
Also, don't slam anyone.
Yeah. Well, we always knew there was probably going to be one just in the heat of the
Yeah.
moment. So glad we got through that with minimal collateral damage.
And Buddy on bottom definitely gave him a good little squeeze at the end, which was funny.
Yeah, I
I felt
appreciated that though. Like
Yeah, I think Rick was like about to break it up, and then I think he saw the squeeze and he was like, all right,
all right, yeah, he's earned that one.
That was all. I mean, everything all around it. I mean, I can't remember what was his name. We interviewed him right after. I can't remember his name off the top. 95.
Yeah,
Jujitsu.
John. He's
John,
I
Jake,
think
John?
but yeah,
It started with a J, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was awesome, dude. Those triangles he was throwing up were crazy. I rewatched his matches last
Yeah,
last
it
night.
was. He came out of nowhere too.
I wonder if he's going to be on that team.
I hope so.
And he's a blue belt too. New blue belt.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Is like I'm also hoping a lot of these like blue belts who are showing out at the
It's so
advanced level, like we can get them opportunities to compete against like actual high level guys at the advanced level. Like
What's crazy is that no matter what, in the tier 2 below, one of the free agent teams is going to be in the finals. Because it's 1 and 4, which is Odyssey and you guys versus Misfits and heel hookers.
Yeah.
So no matter what, one
what,
of the free agent squads who was just thrown together is in the finals.
Well, what I'm really interested in seeing are the odd number divisions, like how those dynamics are at play. Because for the
2
odd
and 3
number
will go
divisions,
against each other. And
the
then they'll
first
have that
seed's gonna
bye.
get a
So
bye.
Odyssey's gonna get a bye, and
Breast Milk Barbarians,
are gonna get a
10th
bye.
Planet's gonna get a bye.
Also, let's just get a quick little Breast Milk Barbarian walkout music really quick if you guys want to hear what they're going to be coming out to. 1 second, where is it?
While Spencer's searching for it, just a disclaimer, we are trying to skirt around having to worry about copyright anything, so no, you can't pick your own music. We're
Yeah,
picking like the jankiest remixes.
If you guys have stuff that you would like to send me that is not DMCA'd or UMG strike on my YouTube, then that would be great, and I will use that. Because I don't want to get banned. But this is... Oh, it's not starting over. Oh, never mind. You're not going to be able to hear it. It didn't start over.
Well, it's okay. That's more surprise for
More surprise anyways.
for the final weekend. So we're kind of going through divisions here, talking about the under division. The intermediate under has really been a dogfight.
Yeah, tier 1 below 175. Let's take a look at the standings really quick for it.
Yeah, we got the Satanic Hispanics right now, which I love the fact that they've become like an audience darling, like fan favorite.
Dude, their rash guards they came in were so funny. Dude, they were awesome.
Oh, El Gringo cracks me up every time.
That video cracked me up. That for the interview where it was like the Mexican music going on in the background, and then it got to him and it just like went silent. So funny. Aiden's awesome though. He's such a good sport.
Yeah, no, he really is, and he's like, I think a lot of people kind of expected him to go out there and be just this really high level presence, and he's been killing it at the intermediate division, but he went out there at the advanced
Aga
over.
against I lost my baby face in prison on Instagram.
Yeah, and he got tapped pretty fast. So I mean, I think that just goes to show you that I mean,
There's levels to this
yeah, there's
everywhere.
absolutely levels to this. And sure, some guys like on their good days when they're hitting their A game, they can hang with anybody, but it's, the bad days where they're not hitting their A game, right? Do they have a strong enough B game to be able to hang with really high level guys? And, some examples we're finding no, they don't. But I mean, I think that's a cool thing though, because obviously the way we're going to structure this is if a team really runs away with it in intermediate, we're not going to allow them to join intermediate the next season. Like
Yeah.
they're going to have to compete up at the advanced.
Like, let's say the Satanic Hispanics wins this tier 1 above. They've been pretty dominant so far in this
Yeah,
regular season and going into the postseason. So I would say that their whole squad probably would have to compete at the
and they're
like
all
Mitchell
good
and Josh, like
grapplers.
the guys that have been land. I can't remember.
Yeah, they're all
Aiden.
good grapplers, but like I mean, we saw what happened when Aiden stepped up to advance. So it's like, how well do we think they would do in the?
True.
But I mean, Mitchell is an incredible grappler.
Yeah,
So
college wrestler. So
yeah, it's hard to say, and I would really like to see that.
yeah, I would too. So it would be Satanic Hispanics versus Handsome Juniors, and then Superfly versus Ice Spice Bandits.
Yeah. So
That Superfly versus Ice Spice Bandits in round 1's juicy.
oh,
That's a
that's gonna
good one.
be that's gonna get real physical real fast.
I kind of see Satanic Hispanics winning versus Handsome Juniors, but I don't know who's gonna win between Superfly Ice Spice Bandits.
Yeah, I think I might have to give a slight edge to Superfly. I
I
think.
do too, just because what's his name? I think his name's also Aiden.
Yeah,
Hit
he's
that heel hook against Mitchell.
insane.
So that was pretty crazy.
They've been very consistent. They've been explosive. Obviously, strategy is their strong suit. They've got very active coaching. Who,
Yeah.
like I really I
Again,
could
Daniel
see.
and Jake stepping up. Like,
Yeah, I could absolutely
I,
see it being Satanic Hispanic Superfly in the finals.
and then what do you think do you think Superfly prepared enough to beat Satanic Hispanics for the championship?
I think it's going to be a dogfight.
I think so too. Because
I
Mitchell got tapped, and if they can figure out a way to deal with Aiden, and then if
I
they can go stalemates everywhere else. So like,
I
if
think
they can
order is going to be
order
a
is
big
going to be a
factor.
huge factor, and we're actually going to do another podcast with Rick later this week that we're going to release, and we're going to talk about the
Yeah, Rick's the referee for those of you
yeah,
who
sorry,
didn't realize.
ATL_Rick_James on Instagram.
Yeah,
But we're gonna do a podcast with him explaining all the rules for the final weekend, how people gamed the rules for during the season, and what the rules are gonna look like going forward and everything. Because we just want to make sure everyone's on the same page for the final weekend. Because Curtis and I did kind of throw this thing together, and the one place we didn't really put a real good, neat type bow on was like the rule set.
I think the point to that though is that anything like this where it's so much action and it's so fast paced is things are going to get messy
Yeah.
and gray areas are going to present
Like
themselves.
like
And it doesn't matter
like
how
the
hard
Z-Lock
yeah,
situation.
it doesn't matter how hard you try, like best laid plans, like you
Yeah.
have these good intentions, you pick this rule set that you think makes sense, and then things start happening and it's like, wow, I never thought it would go this way. I got to make a ruling on this
Yeah.
spur of the moment. So like I think our rule set was very, very practical and logical, but I think that there were obviously like finer points that just were gonna have to present themselves.
Yeah.
And they have. And I think it's only gonna get smoother from here because things are gonna get more and more like, oh, that's a 1 in a million kind of shot, like we're not gonna have to worry about that very frequently.
I agree.
I think most of the pressure testing is kind of out of the way.
And honestly, everything that like all the situations that happened like best case scenario.
Yeah.
So like at least that Z-Lock situation, like it didn't prevent like what would have happened. Like the girls would from 10th Planet regardless would have gone into the finals.
That
So
there
like,
could have been much more controversial
Yeah.
circumstances surrounding the decision as opposed
so lucky
to
how it played out.
yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of been the name of the game for us is like, oh, holy shit, that could have been bad. Good thing we got lucky with pretty much everything every step of the way.
And shout out to the assassins at 10th Planet and Atos for bringing home that $2,000 check. That was probably one of the biggest female cash payouts that have ever happened. And
Yeah,
that's crazy. It was only $2,000, bro. And me and you, with a 2-man operation, were able to put that together. How are these other operations not giving out more money? I don't
I don't know.
understand.
And like, yeah, like, it was kind of funny and tongue in cheek. Like, we were talking about how, oh, it's Curtis and Spencer, are, like, icons of feminism. But, like, in all seriousness, if you and I are out here paying them way more than, like, almost any other promotion, that's insane,
It
man.
doesn't make sense because like their matches were like so entertaining the entire
Yeah.
time. Like everything was so high level and was like done to like a really technical level, and even so more of a technical level than the guys where they're more smashing. And so I honestly felt like the girls matches were more fun to watch, especially with the team dynamic. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like there's a lot of big personalities out there too, you
True.
know? Like, I mean, and every team kind of had their own kind of mentality too. And it was just kind of cool to see them going out there and like interacting with each other. Cause there was, like obviously Elizabeth and like Yadetsi and Lauren and Kirsten are teammates. So they were out there kind of like messing with each other
Yeah.
and like, talking a little shit, like all good natured. And that was really cool to see. And then like all of a sudden the switch would flip and it'd be like, oh, I don't know this girl. It's time
Yeah.
to switch back to murder mode.
It was really cool to see, and like I don't. This is why I just don't understand how these other promotions aren't just giving out more money to the female grapplers, because like our views were good for it. It did well on YouTube. Like people were watching it, so like I don't understand why people are like not like pushing it a little bit more. So hopefully we can start doing this, and then more female grappling competitions will pop up. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, like that is a big goal of ours is to genuinely create opportunities elsewhere, even if it's not us that are providing the
Exactly.
opportunities directly. So, like, if more people start putting on events and doing stuff like that and paying athletes well, especially female athletes, like, hell yeah, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna hurt anything.
I agree. I mean, everything that we've done so far, like as like we're not like we've done it 2 tier, like we've done everything like just the same all the way across. It's like we're not showing favoritism really to like one specific group of people or like one specific tier or anything. Like we're just trying to put on a cool event for everyone. So I think everyone's starting to see that too. Like we're genuinely just trying to do something cool for the community,
Yeah,
which is awesome to see.
and I mean, it's turned out very, very unique. Like this feels like, like the early stages of PGF when you watched it and you're like, holy shit, like this is actually kind of compelling and well
Yeah.
done. Like,
I love how they have their couches on the side and everything. It just feels like a mafia fight
yeah,
club in there.
man, I'm hoping like something from Eastern Promises. Yeah, I'm hoping in maybe like 4 or 5 years, like, people will be like, oh man, I would really like to emulate the Atlanta Submission Series.
Yeah.
Like
That'd be really cool.
become the new blueprint
I mean, there's
for.
already like more team stuff already popping up, so like it's starting already, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue talking about the future a little bit. Like obviously Odyssey's doing their Odyssey Invitational in early October. So, we've got this momentum. It's going to ride to early October. They're going to generate some momentum and that's going to ride to late October, early November when we're looking at doing
Our summer or our fall fright night.
yes,
Instead
the
of fall
super
fight night.
super fright night.
Super fright night.
Spencer, you want me to give them a little preview of what I'm trying to set
we're,
up?
Yeah, what we're trying to we'll spitball some ideas, what people are thinking. If you guys want other things of like what you guys would think would be cool or like what we could do, we're
Yeah,
open to ideas. But
quick disclaimer, this is an event for the community. Y'all are the community, i.e. this event is yours. So if you guys have different ideas or have suggestions, shoot them to us. Like we genuinely want to hear them.
yeah, we're definitely gonna make a server pretty soon for people to join them, either Discord or we'll make a Reddit page for people to have discussions about like things we could do, things that would be cool, people we should promote. So we're all in the loop on everything together.
But yeah, what we're talking about here for like a Halloween theme, so late October, early November, Super Fight Night is we'd like to do it at like a haunted house attraction in Atlanta. So like
Yeah.
Paranoia or Netherworld or somewhere like that. Now I've reached out we're waiting to hear back from them. I'm really like, I'm gonna start kind of being a thorn in their side if they don't email me back. Like, I'm gonna start hitting them up on
I
social
just think it would be
media.
so cool if we just like pulled up to somewhere like that and had like that ambiance of somewhere
Oh, dude,
else.
we have like vampires ripping fake chainsaws and stuff in the background all night
It'd be
while
so
dudes are
cool.
like choking each other out. It's gonna be insane.
People can show up in costumes.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone has to show up in a Jack Black Nacho Libre
Oh,
costume.
dude, like people can show up in like morph suits to grapple it if they want, so no one knows who. Like,
Ooh, the hidden grappler.
yeah, who knows,
Ooh, what if we
man?
did a hidden league? Everyone shows up in morph suits. That'd
Like,
be crazy. You couldn't see in the morph suit, but
and yeah, like for fall, like we want to do, we want to mix it up a little bit too. Like, we want to keep the team dynamic going. We're planning on having like some, obviously, like some 3-man, some quartets, maybe even some quintet matches going on. But we want to have some individuals too, so that way we can kind of make it feel a little different. Like, this
yeah.
is a different product. It's not an extension of the Atlanta Submission Series season 1, or it's not like, pre-season 2. It feels like it's its own thing.
Yeah. Because we want to make the seasons feel really special so people sign up for them and like prepare for it and like it's like a cool event. So if we don't want to do the seasons all the time, so then it's just like a watered down version of it. So probably 2 seasons a year is what we're thinking, and like these 2 super fight nights.
Yeah, and like
kinda
1 or
thing.
2 super fight nights a year
Yeah.
would be
Some
great.
like either every 4 months or 3 months we're gonna try and put on an event.
Yeah, it's just what's, we'll it the balance between sustainability.
Exactly. It's so difficult.
Yeah, like this is it takes a lot of work to put these events
Yeah.
on.
Hopefully going forward it'll be a little bit easier with all this stuff now in place. Hopefully it won't be hard. I mean, we say that it's just going to get more difficult. It's going to be more people to manage, more sponsors to deal with, more.
Maybe.
We'll see.
The challenges are going to change, it's going to be a different type of difficult.
That's
And
how I feel.
and like it's a little, I'm hoping it's going to be like less tedious, like having to pound the pavement and knock on doors and go out in the public and
Yeah, at
like
least now
establish
we're
trust.
known.
Yeah, like we're not going to have to necessarily take all those same steps that
Yeah.
are so labor intensive.
That's very true. We did a lot of those steps at the beginning to help do this now to where we wouldn't have to go driving to all the different places and all the different stuff now. So it's a lot easier now, hopefully, for us to put on these events because people will know us and they'll be on the league apps, email notification list, so they'll get all that stuff on there. So I think it'll just be easier for people to sign up for this stuff.
Yeah, and I think like also people are going to have a little more trust because, I'm sure there were some people who were tempted to sign up.
Yeah, like Atos, they really wanted to sign up and put teams in, but like they were just like, yeah, maybe not like this one. We'll do the next one. But like we've had so many other teams reach out to us now. They're like, dude, we're doing the next one for
Well,
sure.
it also makes me wonder how many sponsorship opportunities.
Oh, dude, there's so many out there now.
Like people who are like, I'm tempted to throw them some money and like be a part of this, but I want to see what they do with what they have first season.
Manscaped, Athletic Greens, Blue Chew, reach out to me now.
Yeah, like guys, if any of y'all have like corporate connects or like my uncle is head of marketing for so and so, hit us up. We are not afraid to make those shameless connections.
Yeah, I will talk to anybody about anything. I do not care.
Yeah, I'll fire out another few hundred cold emails. Like,
Also, really quick, we're just going to do a quick stop really quick for our sponsors. We got Georgia Hemp Co. This CBD roll-on stuff, I use it absolutely every day. It's one of the best things, guys. Go stop at Georgia Hemp Co. Use code, what is it, ASS?
yeah.
ASS at checkout. You'll get 20% off or something. Here, wait, I have the graphic for it. 1 second, let me flop it up. It is Georgia Hemp Co. 20% off. Use code ASS. Boom. This is literally the best thing ever, guys. I'm not kidding. It's the best. And then we got Game Day Men's Health. Oh, that's Sergio Ardia. Yeah. Black belt attorney. Reach out to him if you have any PI things. Game Day Men's Health. Use code ATLSS2024 for 20% off your order for life. Game Day is awesome, guys. They do testosterone, peptides, all that stuff. So if you have any questions about that, they're definitely the people to reach out to. Go down there to their Buckhead office and go talk with them down there, guys. Also, we got Mitchell Navarro at Green Summit Co. Contracting. If you guys have any contracting questions, reach out to him. Johnny at dude, how do you say it?
I just call it Momo, dude.
It's I get Momo, but is it Momo Iro? Momo Riro? Moiro?
I don't know. Everybody should go to the restaurant and ask him in
Yeah,
person.
everybody go there and ask Johnny and bug him about it, please. That would actually be hilarious. But if you show that you follow us and their account, you get 10% off their order, and it is really good ramen. And right next door to the Marietta Square Market is where that one's located, is a Pita Mediterranean street food. You guys can get 10% off your order if you're also following both accounts on there. And then I got, what else we got? Nation Athletic. Use code ATLSS15 at checkout for 15% off your order there. And Dr. Ninja Cairo, follow him on Instagram. We're going to go and do a spot with him next week to promote him. So
Yeah, we are.
be
And
on the lookout for that.
He actually is fixing David Pull-Up.
Oh, yeah, he's the one that's
one of my
working on
teammates
David.
went down first weekend, and Dr. Pete's hooking him up. He's already back up and moving, training a little bit. So, guys, go hit Dr. Pete up, especially if you're getting a little older.
Yeah, he'll definitely get you. David showed me some of the exercises that he's shown him, and there's such complex movements and stuff that it makes sense actually why you need to go to a person like that to actually look at it, because you're not gonna be able just to look at a YouTube video and just magically know how to do it perfectly all of a sudden.
Yeah. Who else we have? Cozy Coop.
Oh yeah, Cozy Coop.
Yeah, guys, seriously, go eat some chicken and ribs at Cozy Coop. Ricky hooks it up.
I eat at Cozy Coop literally once a week. It's right next to my apartment. It's so freaking good, guys.
Yeah, Spencer subsists off of pita and Cozy Coop.
Yeah, that's 90% of my diet right there, and the other 10% is coffee. And then I got Hinton Auto Detailing. He's the one that joined a little bit late for our on that squad.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, he does some detailing for some of the guys at ATT Sandy Springs as well.
Perfect.
But yeah, if you guys get 10% off your order if you mention this ad, so hit him up on Instagram. He'll do your car real nice. Oil Check Club.
Oil Check Club.
Oil Check Club approved. That's a huge get, in the to get Oil Check Club approved.
Man.
Yeah. So what's the podcast name? Is it going to be Atlanta Submission Series Podcast?
No,
Is it
I
going to
say
be
we call it
Oil Check Club Podcast?
Yeah. The Oil Check Club Podcast.
Guys, we need other submissions. I can't get behind this, but I will.
The Honey Hole Hunter Podcast.
Guys, submit anything.
Tap That ASS Podcast. These are all gold suggestions.
I mean, they're good. I'm not saying they're not good.
Spencer, what else we got on the docket? We've talked about we talked about the regular season, talked about the postseason.
We got winter season.
Winter season. Okay, let's address this real quick.
Yeah.
So for the winter season, we're really two big topics of discussion right now. One is shortening the season, doing one weekend a regular season to establish seeding, and then the very next weekend being the single elimination postseason.
Yep.
Obviously, the downside is that's less competition reps that people are getting with this experience, but the positive side, less injuries, less physical burnout. You and I, don't hate our lives as much, which is always a plus when the promoters, aren't ready to murder someone. And the other big development that Spencer and I are really chewing over here is making winter seasons gi seasons.
Yeah, we're thinking we've had a lot of people reach out to us that they want a gi season. So, I mean, it makes sense. You train for the weather that you're in, is what I've always said.
Yeah, man, exactly.
So gi in the winter, no gi in the summer. It makes sense.
And there's obviously
even though I only do no gi, so I definitely will not be participating in this event, but I will be cheering you guys on from the announcer booth, 100%.
Well, so I think that the big point here, which
will this be your
agree
first
with,
competition with your judo black belt?
Yeah, I haven't competed in the gi since I got promoted.
That'd be sick, dude. That'd be cool.
Oh, I would totally do I would compete. Well,
sorry to cut you off there. Who would be your 4 squad? If you had to pick 3 people right now, who would you pick?
Oh man, in the gi?
Yeah.
So, okay, can I pick black belts or does
you would be in the purple belt division, so no.
Okay, well then I'll stick with just teammates. So Adrian Rojas, obviously.
Adrian's a dog.
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Adrian would be up there. I would try and get Teddy, Jared Wheeler. Insane right there.
Yeah.
God, there's so many good options.
Who would you round out the squad with?
If I could convince him, Doc Chris. Although
He's
he's
a black
massive.
belt. You can't do
He's
that.
massive.
You can't do that. He's a black belt. It has to be a purple belt.
No, man.
That's the advanced. You're thinking no-gi. That's an advanced division. You gotta think IBJJF. It's white, blue, purple,
Yeah,
brown,
dude,
black.
like you could totally. So there, like, you can be a black belt in the advanced division. You just can't be a pro.
Yeah, in no-gi, but not in gi.
You're
When have
right.
you ever seen a purple belt go against a black belt in a gi?
We'll think about that.
You're
That's
crazy.
a good.
You're
That's
crazy.
a good point.
Crazy.
But yeah, like I'd really be interested, and we'd have to think about the rule set because leg locking is gonna be a big question
Yeah,
mark.
there would be a lot more rules that we would have to go over. Good thing ATL Rick James would be right there to go over.
Well,
with us.
here's what I think's exciting about this idea. Nogi, so we're kind of creating like maybe not like the definitive end all be all, but we're creating in some sense like a little bit of a hierarchy, like, who's on top right now in Atlanta, because this is a good metric to gauge. Like, my team of 4 beat all these other teams of 4 instead of my individual guy beat all these other individuals. So right now, like, you have certain gyms that look like they're leading the pack, but maybe it's because they focus almost exclusively on no-gi, whereas a lot of these other gyms
are doing like 2 days
Yeah.
no gi, 3 days gi, 4 days
Yeah.
gi.
So this provides another element where, like, you can see, okay,
Like
this other
Alliance will come
team-
in there and will like they do mainly gi.
Roberto Traven,
Roberto Traven,
Atos. Yeah, like, all of a sudden, now you've got all of these teams coming
Buckhead
in.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. Tribe, Tribe's going to come out. Like, so now you have all of these gyms that are maybe a little less no-gi oriented, and now it's a very different dynamic. And I think another big question is, are we going to be able to convince Sean to let us buy his guys some gis so that...
That would be so funny if Sean's
Yeah,
guys showed up and we would have
Yeah,
to.
Breast Milk Barbarians, I will buy y'all like the cheapest gis on Amazon if you guys are
I
down
don't
to...
think Kevin Bierig has ever tied a belt in his life.
No, Kevin, I'll tie your belt for you too. Like, oh, dude, like, full on, like...
I mean, maybe he has. I don't know. I just imagine I imagine all those 10th Planet guys roll up with joints in hand, only doing no-gi.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
no-gi is like,
is
gi
baller.
is never done ever there.
So, I mean, I'm very interested to see, like, and like a gi quartet. You don't really see that.
No,
very
I've
often.
never seen a gi team fight before, ever.
And, dude, I'm also, like...
It's just hard because, like, I think because gi is such, like, grip fighting, so it'd be so hard to promote it, I feel like.
We'll
I
see.
don't know. We'll need some killers out there. That's what I think.
I think we'll get it. I think Atlanta's a really big gi community. Like, dude, IBJJF is huge when it comes through Atlanta, and
That's true.
Yeah. So I think we'll
and
get that.
you have really high level grapplers.
I
that
think
do it,
we'll
and they put on a
also
show,
get
so-
like Hinzo Gracie, South Carolina, like right there on the border.
Yeah.
Like, they're a big gi gym. Like, they might do it. Like, I could see some more gyms that maybe might travel for this, because I feel like gi is still kind of the more common avenue for competition amongst hobbyists.
I definitely agree with that.
So we'll see. I think there's a lot of different angles to kind of.
So right now we're mainly leaning towards gi season for the winter. So the no gi wouldn't be for like a full year, which would be a really long time actually for
yeah,
a full
but
another season of no gi.
but you also have to figure the fall super fight night's probably going to be mostly no gi.
That's true.
Like, but the it being a super fight night though, that's the beauty of it. Like,
Yeah.
we can do gi matches or gi quartets. Like, if we can get those matches set up,
True.
we could do judo matches. If we wanted
We'll
to.
do sambo.
Yeah, like, we could do weird stuff. Like a judo super fight. That'd be pretty cool, man. Like,